Thank you, Dr. Namrata. Can you hear me and see my slides?
Yeah.
So I think glaucoma surgery is very different because it is mostly oops. And if you don't get oops intraoperatively, then it's post-operative oops. And so the first dreaded nightmare is that you have started surgery and you are using a corneal traction suture. So this is a patient of primary congenital glaucoma. So now you see the corneal traction suture has been put and there's a corneal perforation. Now this is a disaster because you have a flat AC in a child's eye and you have lost the AC. And how do you make now an entry and put viscoelastic because there is no side port? So in this situation, we use the track of the perforation only to just form the AC, then make a side port. And now you have to make an inferior traction suture and you have to put an air bubble. The problem now is that the eye has become hypotenuse, but with the air bubble and the inferior traction suture, you can go ahead and complete your surgery. This is a trabeculotomy combined with a trabeculectomy. And you can see that the air bubble has to be maintained throughout the surgery. So important take home message is that when you're going to pass this suture, because a child's eye, the cornea is very thin, you have to be very careful. And if you perforate, don't try to redo the suture, put in an air bubble through that same track. Sometimes you may have to suture and always then put an inferior traction suture. There should be no traction on the area which you have perforated, and the seal must be checked at the end of surgery. Now, the next complication that we can face, this is again a patient where we're operating. This is a patient, we are doing a trabeculotomy combined with a trabeculectomy. So after the mitomycin C application, you do a routine surgery, you raise a laminar skeletal flap, and then you raise a second deeper flap that is for your trabeculotomy. You de-roof the Schlemm's canal, and then you're going to insert your Harm's trabeculotome. So one side, very nice. Now, as soon as the other side is done, you just watch what is going to happen here. There is a gush of blood. So what has happened, there is an injury which is occurred to the ciliary body. There is sudden rise in intraocular pressure. And you will watch here, your trabeculotomy incision has also gaped. So in this situation, you immediately have to put in an air bubble and wash the anterior chamber. Otherwise, your hyphema is going to organize. You make the ostium to decompress the eye. You have to again try to make the ostium and prolapse the uveal tissue back and then complete your surgery. So the important take-home message is that when you're doing a trabeculotomy, it is very essential that you lay slightly anterior towards the corneal side, because if you try and dip the trabeculotome, it can injure the ciliary body and you can get a massive hyphema and you require immediate evacuation with air and your BSS. Now, the third very critical complication is the vitreous loss that can occur while you're making a trabeculectomy ostium. So this is a routine trabeculectomy surgery. You're making the ostium, and now you see as soon as the last thing is cut, you have this jelly coming. So there is a vitreous loss occurring. So two important caveats are, first thing is whenever you are making the ostium, there should be no traction. So while making the ostium, the assistant is pulling on the cornea. So that is causing a counter traction. So never have any traction on when you are making the ostium. The second important thing is always try to go slightly anterior, because then you are going into the clear cornea. If you make a posterior opening, you will get vitreous loss. So once you get vitreous, you immediately have to stop the surgery. You have to now do a vitrectomy, otherwise your vitreous is going to block the ostium. So you have to always, you should keep a vitrectomy ready even when you're doing trabeculectomy surgery, and especially for children because there the eyeball is stretched. So now you see the vitrectomy has been done with the AC maintainer on. So the entire vitreous has to be cleared from this area, and then you form the anterior chamber with air, and with triamcinolone you can check if there is any vitreous in the ostium. And because you already made the ostium, now you can close the wound and you can proceed with regular surgery, and always check that there is no vitreous bead at the area of the ostium. Now, the other important thing is that you have done a surgery and post-operatively you have a shallow AC, and this is a patient referred to us early post-operative period. There was a conjunctival wound leak and a shallow AC. So multiple conjunctival sutures have been put, and you can see there is a positive Seidel test here. So that means there is some problem underneath the conjunctiva. So in this situation, you should not try to do direct suturing. You have to open up the complete conjunctiva and do an exploration of what is going wrong. So the entire area has to be dissected. And once it is dissected, you can see there is a small area where there is active gush of aqueous. So simple conjunctival suturing was not successful. So in that situation, you have to plug this defect. So there are three options. One is sclera, one is Momini's repair. But if the defect is very small, you can also use a biodegradable collagen implant. In this situation, it will both help to tamponade this small area of leakage, and additionally, it may prevent some fibroblast proliferation, because now this surgery is doomed to failure because there's already a lot of scarring and there is a defect. So you can't use antifibrotics such as mitomycin C. So in this situation, we adopted a different approach, and we used a biodegradable collagen implant to tamponade the area of the leakage and then overlay it with healthy conjunctiva. Suturing of the implant is warranted so that it doesn't move back and expose the area of the leakage. Now, this is a situation you have done the surgery, and first post-op day, you find AC is extremely shallow, but there is no active wound leak. So here, what is happening is there is an excessive leakage from the scleral flap. Now, this is a simple technique of transconjunctival suturing. You just apply multiple sutures from the conjunctiva to the scleral bed back to the conjunctiva without opening the conjunctival incision. So that leads to closure of the scleral cleft and reversal of hypotony. So this is a transconjunctival suturing if you have an early post-operative hypotony following trabeculectomy where there is no active wound leak, and you can see this is despite a releasable suture that has been placed. The next situation, of course, is the most dreaded complication, and there we are helped by our retina colleagues. So this is an expulsive hemorrhage that has occurred, and you have to be very careful. It is best that you refer these cases to retina colleagues. So he has put in an AC maintainer, and now you can see he's making a partial thickness scleral incision and gradually deepening it till you hit the suprachoroidal fluid. Now you see the fluid is draining, and you have to press on both sides. Of course, you have localized on the ultrasound, and when you press on both sides, you will see a massive outpouring of the hemorrhage. So this is a site-saving procedure. The expulsive hemorrhage occurring due to hypotony after glaucoma filtering surgery, and the sclerotomy to decompress the eye and remove the expulsive hemorrhage. And when you've done a good surgery and the patient comes back to you with a hypotony maculopathy, so this was a young lady, and you can see very nice surgery done, but patient came back with a hypotony maculopathy, and this is a very common complication that you face in especially young patients post-operatively. So this will be my last video. So there are two problems here: a dysfunctional conjunctiva, young lady. So, and the second important thing is that there is also a defect in the sclera. So here, what we're using is a technique called Momini's repair. You are raising a laminar scleral flap and deflecting it anteriorly. And secondly, how to cover this conjunctiva? You make a pedicle flap from the side and overlay this area with a healthy conjunctiva. So two important principles. One is closure of the ostium with a laminar scleral flap rotated anteriorly. This is Momini's repair. And closure of the conjunctival defect with a pedicle conjunctival flap from the side to overlay with healthy conjunctiva. So these are few oops I wanted to cover in trabeculectomy surgery. I think I'll be just running out of time, so I will stop here. So thank you, Dr. Namrata, for this kind invitation.